Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Galaxy Model for the Atom. I'm going to be doing a few of these where I look at everything through the lens of galaxies and atoms being the same thing. And I'm making discoveries by looking at things that way. And one of the discoveries that I made was that gravity is caused by all matter pushing on all other matter. Gravity is like, it's like the blood in your body. It's going around and about and around and about and around and about, and it maintains your body. Gravity, matter has the same thing. It's always releasing energy and absorbing the same energy, and it circulates that energy all through it all the time. And so yeah, gravity is kind of like the blood in your body. It's part of your body, but it's always moving, always on the move, always recharging. It's important to know how gravity works, because if you don't know how gravity works, then you end up with things like dark matter, things like black holes, which, yes, there is something at galactic centers, but it's not because a bunch of stuff collapsed because of its gravity. What there is at galactic centers is spin, and it's a spin around 3 axes. It's different from the spin of the disk. The disks spin around 2 axes. And one of the things that is explained very nicely by disks spinning around 2 axes, which they don't explain, is something called asymmetrical GRCs. Now, an asymmetrical GRC, an asymmetrical galactic rotation curve. Okay, so back when I was talking about how the Very Large Array Telescope was established in and around 1985, and they started being able to see how fast stars are going. And so they immediately started measuring how fast all the stars are going, right? And they found that the stars at the very outside edge of the galaxy were making a turn around the galaxy just as fast as the stars towards the center. And that was incredible. How could those outside stars be going so fast? And the way they found that was because the graph that they made was flat, their galactic rotation curve. They thought if they graphed how fast stars are going from closer to the center out to the edge, the velocity of the stars would fall off, so the curve would curve down, because further out stars would have to go more slowly, right? So they started using these big radio telescopes, and they found that their galactic rotation curve didn't curve down. It wasn't even a curve. It went straight. It was flat. It was a flat GRC. And that was a huge, huge problem for our science, because how could those outside stars go around just as fast as the inside stars? Like, just as frequently. They'd have to go a lot faster. And so Vera Rubin came up with this. There had been an old idea floated by Fritz Zwicky back in 1933, And he had been looking at globular clusters, and every galaxy has these spherical halos of globular clusters around it. And there are two spheres of globular clusters around every galaxy, and one of those spheres has got a motion in one direction, and the other one's got a motion in the other direction. But Fritz Zwicky was looking at these globular clusters out there, and they were just a whipping around, and he couldn't believe how fast that they could be going around our galaxy. And so he thought, well, maybe there must be something pulling them around, and he thought maybe there was some kind of an invisible matter that was pulling them around faster, dark matter. And so Vera Rubin in 1976 or whatever, and they were seeing these flat GRCs, and they were looking for an explanation for how the very outside stars could go around just as fast as the inside stars. And she came up with Fritz Zwicky's dark matter idea, and they've been floating dark matter ever since. Dark matter this, dark matter that, invisible matter, stays just where you need it, doesn't clump, doesn't react with our matter except by gravity. It pulls us to it, but we don't pull it to us, like, and then we'll put some here and some there and some over here, and that explains why the stars are going faster on the outside, right? And so they've been floating that for a while, and they originally, I've been following this ever since, originally they tried to computer model it, and they computer modeled it, and they could get it to maybe go for 2 rotations, and then it wouldn't work anymore. They could never manage to computer model the dark matter idea for making the outer stars go around faster. But they're still flying with it. They're still flying with it. And they're spending billions trying to prove that it exists. And they haven't yet. Because there is no such thing as dark matter. What there is at galactic centers, it's the same thing as at atomic centers. At atomic centers, gravity doesn't have a say. All of everything depends on the electromagnetic fields. The electromagnetic fields at atomic centers are 10 to the 35 times stronger than any little push that's being given off by electrons on pushing the protons. It's just, gravity does not have a say at all with protons and neutrons and electrons. They're all doing an electromagnetic dance. And the same thing is true at galactic sizes, at the size of star arms. Those star arms, it's not about gravity. They're held together by their own electromagnetic forces. And Rainer Beck found that every star arm has a magnetic backbone. Like, a star arm is a unit. It turns as a unit. It doesn't depend on dark matter to stay in a unit at all. It's got nothing to do with gravity. It has to do with electromagnetic forces. Right? So dark matter is just one of the dumbest things that there is out there. But anyway, so, so this gravity push theory is how we're going to fix things. And I've got it written in my book. You know my book, The Galaxy Model for the Atom. If you buy this book, that would help me out. The Galaxy Model for the Atom by John Sefton, The Universal Fractal. And if you know somebody that wants to throw some money at what I would call an inertial drive, I think it's possible to tap gravity very, very easily. And you will do that by creating spin around multiple axes. And the way you do that is you use ferrofluid. You have to use ferrofluids in the correct, going around the correct shape of pathway. And if you get a ferrofluid doing the right waveform, then you can create inertia within your vehicle, which overcomes any other inertia from any other direction. And it goes the direction that you want it to go. And we can tap gravity the same way. We can tap gravity by essentially vibrating matter at the correct frequencies and in the correct manners. And you can alter the way that your matter is being pushed by gravity. And so you can build all manner of things that are going to tap gravity. But we don't need oil, we don't need nuclear, we don't need any of that stuff. All you need is the knowledge to be able to tap gravity. And so that's why I'm trying to push this thing, because UFOs have been using this. And I was talking about UFOs last time, and the CIA, and how the CIA has been calling everybody that mentions the word UFO a conspiracy theorist. And they've been doing that ever since George Adamski. They started calling poor old George Adamski a conspiracy theorist. And then Marcel Hammett found something that really corroborated George Adamski in the forests of Brazil. And George Adamski published that in his 1964 edition. And the CIA said that, oh, Marcel Hammett and George Adamski had cooked that up, and they were both in on it, and they were conspiracy theorists. Like, just unconscionable, like these criminals. And they've been delaying and messing up humanity for a while now, that bunch. Like, what are you doing, man? So, gravity can be tapped. We need to do it. And that's why I'm making these episodes every day. We'll look at everything through the lens of galaxies and atoms being the same thing, turning disks. And galactic disks precess rapidly. They precess and they sweep out spheres, and the spherical globular cluster halos that surround every galaxy are because that disk comes sweeping through. It comes sweeping through, turning one direction, and then it comes sweeping through the next time turning the other direction. And so you get nested halos that have different flows of old globular clusters, and they're found around all galaxy. So galaxies precess. And that's the reason for asymmetric GRCs. When galaxies are facing you, and you're tracking the star speeds on one side and the star speeds on the other, the star speeds on one side appear to go faster than the star speeds on the other. That's an asymmetrical GRC. And the reason the star speeds on one side appear to go faster than the star speeds on the other of the facing galaxy is because that galaxy is precessing. One side is receding from you and the other side is coming toward you. But they think that asymmetrical GRCs are because of dark matter. Everything is because of dark matter. Anyway, have a good day, you guys.